Hey y'all, Contessa here with another dose of nonsense on the web. And this, my friends, is a whole lot of nonsense coming your way because it is absolutely a horrendous clip to rewatch. And I apologize in advance. This is the highly requested Contessa reaction to Goose's bullshit. And I will apologize right up front. I do cuss a lot more in this video than you are used to hearing me, but at this point, it's all coming out. Here it is. This is the way it goes. I am so sick and tired of the lies and the BS. If you are looking for information that they speak about in this video, we've pretty much debunked everything already at this point. So if you're looking for specific clips and questions, ask. There are so many people that are willing to help you get dates, see the proof, see what was actually said, what wasn't said. There are so many people that are actually trying to get the truth out there. It's not just me or certain people, certain creators. There is a bunch of people that have been trying and trying to stop the flow of misinformation. And at this point, blatant lies. I was legit going to go through and drop a screenshot for everything she said, but I would be cutting her off like every 5 seconds. And we just did this. If you're looking for all of these answers debunked already before they did this video, we've already debunked it. It's on my channel. It's about 2 hours long, but we go through and there's screenshots of everything we're claiming. This is the facts of the story. No matter which way it turns, the facts are the facts are the facts. They cannot be disputed. So this one is probably going to be a little bit more of me expressing my opinion. Again, this falls under the fair use content, and this is my opinion and my opinion only.
I understand. $30, $40, $60, $80,000. No, she didn't even get $20,000. And then on that, she refunded $5,100, and then she paid her attorney $8,700 so far. And she's taken 2 trips.
There's that broken water spigot again. Anyways, this is again from September 6th on MollyGoLightly's channel if you want to see the full thing. And yes, we will be breaking all of this down. They start off on a phone call. Molly hits the go live button, of course, like she always does. Then they hang up the phone call, as you'll see, and Goose hops up on the stream. So these are claims that are made multiple times in the video, and we will break things down as we go. But a lot of it's redundant, and I apologize for that.
To Arizona. The first one when she wasn't able to see him because Dre wouldn't say where she was at, and then the second one when her attorney finally talked with Dre's attorney and she had to sign an NDA that would say, did you know that she had to sign an NDA?
Don't you guys think you would remember signing an NDA?
I told anybody that. She remembered today when I was talking to her. Dre's attorney made her sign an NDA to not.
If anyone doesn't know, an NDA is a non-disclosure agreement. It is not necessarily done through attorneys. It can be a legal binding contract, basically, without attorneys or legal representation. My partner has to sign NDAs for his work at times. If they are working on a high-profile client's house or something, they all sign NDAs. It's basically that somebody will keep information private, that they're not going to go take photos and or release private information that is contained within whatever project they are working on. It can be work related. It can be like reality TV stars do a lot of NDA stuff with people that they're working with. All sorts of different occupations and or common folk use NDAs. It's not a big deal. In this circumstance, it would be used to protect Marvon's personal and private information, which would be expected.
Tell anybody where Marvon was. That's why she couldn't even tell Marvon Sr. and Wynette.
I know. She denied.
These people don't realize, like.
But that doesn't make sense, and we'll get into that.
Just how, I'm going to rage and go off on your panel, just so you know, because I'm that pissed off, and I'm probably going to start crying.
Aw, poor Goose has her feathers all in a fluff, and she is going to rage and cry when she gets on panel. Come on, you guys. Stop with the antics and the theatrics. It's ridiculous.
These people don't realize she didn't make some crazy amount of money. Just because some people donated some larger amounts, that doesn't mean shit. You've got $5,100 returned and paid to people who didn't even donate.
Right.
We haven't even gone through and added up all the people that scammed her. But you know what? We're going to go through that, and I'm going to get a copy of all of those, and I'm going to give them to whatever YouTubers want it, because you want to.
Goose, you need to slow down, because you just said you haven't even gone through and gotten proof of all the people that scammed Letitia. You're saying that $5,100 was sent back. $1,100 of that was a refund. The other $4,000 was requests, is what you're claiming. So yeah, according to you, you already have this proof of the scam because it would be every single person that got any of that $4,000 because not a single one of those people was a legitimate refund that we have proof of at this point. So can you slow down and at least understand what you're saying? Because what you're saying makes zero sense.
Letitia scammer when she hasn't scammed anybody. You guys sure as fuck better out the people that actually did scam her.
Today's date is September 13th. This was streamed September 6th. Goose started this whole little routine that she's giving once again on August 13th. August 13th.
I mean, it's bullshit. You don't do something like this. So hey, I'll be right. I'll
All
drop you a
right,
link.
all right, bye.
Oh, yay. Here she comes in full effect.
Dude, this is bad. This is really bad. Letitia's been at the hospital since this morning, I think. And then she finally got a room. Yes, Goose, at 1 o'clock.
Do people understand that we are still living in a current pandemic? There are actually other things going on in the country besides just this. I know, crazy to believe, but 3 hours waiting is actually really good time currently. Really good.
All the paperwork's there. And
Exactly where is there?
just remember that Dre McCrae told Miss Wynette last week when I was at the airport, was I coming or going? Was I coming or going?
Imagine that. She doesn't know if she's coming or going.
I think I was coming home. And I sat on it. And I sat on it.
Let's be honest here. The only thing you sit on is that ass of yours. Not information ever. You're like a piece of Swiss cheese with water running over it. That's how you are with information. The only thing you sit on is that ass. That's it. Let's be clear.
I'm pretty sure I sat on it.
Pretty sure you didn't sit on shit besides your ass.
That she, Miss Wynette's in the hospital. Her Bell's
True Molly fashion, can't get the names right. It's Letitia.
palsy got worse. It's from the stress.
Stress is not listed as a cause of Bell's palsy. It, however, is absolutely a trigger of Bell's palsy. It can absolutely lead to Bell's palsy coming out in one's system. Unfortunately, it is caused by a virus in the system. It is not something that should be taken lightly. It can be very serious and absolutely needs medical attention.
I tried to tell you guys weeks ago. Do you guys remember when I said something happened to Letitia? I can't tell you what it is. Do you guys remember that? And I said, it's bad. It's bad. I can't tell you what it is, but it's bad. Do you guys remember that? I said, I know how she feels. I know how she feels. Do you guys remember that?
Land the fucking plane, Molly. Land it. Yes, we all remember what you said. We all remember that you started to build this story a couple weeks ago. We all are very aware. You are the only one that forgets the shit that comes out of your mouth. That's you, not the rest of us. In fact, we can go back and get receipts of the things you said. You, however, just like to say, oh, I never said that. Oh, I didn't do that. But there's proof all over the place. So once again, yeah, we remember. We remember the start of this story buildup. We 100% remember.
But I couldn't tell you what it was. Because one of my Patreons, Tony, said,
And yes, admin Tony is one of MGL's Patreons. Is that a shocker to anybody? No, she's had a wrench on her channel almost from day one.
I'm not going to call her a Patreon. I'm going to call her my friend. Do you want to know something? Because all my Patreons, they become my fucking friends. So I'm not even going to just say Patreon.
Don't worry, you're a friend today. And tomorrow, you too also have the chance of being doxxed on MollyGoLightly's live. You too. If she misunderstands you, disagrees with you, you said something that she doesn't like, or she's just in a mood.
There she is. Okay. Well, Goose is fucking pissed off.
Get ready for the nonstop honking.
Goose, I know you're
Okay.
pissed off, and you have every reason.
I'm pissed off because I'm hurt for Letitia. I'm mad that all these people accuse her of stuff, and then she's having to work double shifts because she didn't get the amount of money that people think she got. They think because she got some, bigger donations and stuff like that, that she made, like, people saying that she made, oh, I think she made 30,000, I think she made 40,000, I think she made 60,000, oh, I think she made 80,000. She didn't. She didn't even make $20,000.
Well, she's been on the live for 30 seconds and is already hyperventilating. So there's a problem here. But let's talk about what she just said, because there's a lot of bullshit in what she just said. We'll break down most of this throughout the video, but the one thing I have to say is, how is she working double shifts right now when she's participating in social media as much as possible? You explained to me how she is working double shifts and managing social media and all of this other stuff at the same time. Can you make that make sense? Because what you guys are displaying to people is that she has endless time for social media. She is on social media all the time participating in this stuff. And then you tell people she's working double shifts. Do you see where there can be a little bit of confusion in what you're stating and then what people actually see with their own two eyes? That kind of is a problem, but you guys are oblivious to it, of course.
And she paid over $5,100 back in donations, in refunds to Katie and then to fucking scammers. And I'm pissed. I'm going to get every
Goose's words, not mine. She paid over $5,100 in refunds to Katie and scammers. Let's break that down. Katie got a refund for $1,100 is what they're claiming. That was through GoFundMe. Had nothing to do with any of them. It was GoFundMe that refunded Katie. That's here nor there. That's the only refund that we know of have came through GoFundMe. That would leave $4,000 that scammers got from Letitia is what they're claiming. Okay? This is what they're claiming. So $1,100 to Katie, that's off the table. So $4,000 in requests is what they're saying have been paid, not refunds, requests, because these were not refunds.
single copy of every single person that scammed her. And I hope that all the people that accused her of scamming will have the fucking balls and courage to show the ones who actually scammed Letitia. Because she had no idea that she was getting a request for payment, not a request for a refund. And she was literally paying them.
Goose, you started claiming this on August 13th. Do you remember that live you did? Because I have it. You started claiming that this was the story back on August 13th. It is September 13th today that I'm filming this. And you're still telling me that you guys say that there's people that scammed her. We've all said, show it. If she was scammed, show it so they can be shown and called out and people can get to the bottom of this. And you still haven't shown a single thing. Not a single thing. And you wonder why people are still questioning this. You've had over a month and you haven't shown a single thing.
At the end of July, she had a negative amount in her freaking Cash App. Because
you want me to actually believe that Letitia had a negative balance in her Cash App at the end of July. And you want me to believe it was because she was refunding people. But then you don't want me to believe that refunds had started back on the 9th, 10th of July. You want me to believe that that didn't start until about the 18th, 19th, 20th of July, because that was all Katie's fault, right? That's your guys' theory. So you want me to believe that in just a few days, right, that all these people requested refunds and she missed every single one of them and only refunded scammers, but that's what put her in the negative. But we know she raised over $20,000. You're saying under, I'm going to say over. So we'll go with 20,000. Just as a small number. And we know she had 14,000 by the 15th of July. Molly didn't get involved in this case until the 6th of July.
she had actually paid out more than she brought in. But you know what?
I'm not no mathematician over here, but let's do some basic figures. Let's say 2 trips to Arizona, $4,000 a trip. Okay, we're just going to go with this based on their theories. So that's $8,000. Let's say $8,700 to attorneys. That's $16,700. Let's say that she did the $4,000 in requests. Okay, so where are we at? Think about this, you guys. And we know she kept getting donations on a daily basis. She had $14,000 on the 15th of July, and they continued to fundraise daily. They had been saying she didn't touch any of the money that was in GoFundMe. that was still available. Do you guys remember that? So if people wanted refunds, they could absolutely request them because the money was there on GoFundMe. So it's still.
You don't want to believe me? Go ahead. Nonsense. You don't want to believe me? Go ahead.
I was like a giddy little schoolgirl because she separated out of my name from everybody else's instead of just saying that I was Katie for once. She actually said nonsense. Anyways, sorry, I had to get a little excited there. But no, I don't fucking believe a word you say. 100% don't believe a fucking word that comes out of your mouth. And you know why? Because the facts disprove everything you're saying. The facts in the story disprove everything you're saying. There has been no proof to back up a single thing that you guys have claimed. Not a single thing. So you're right. I don't believe a fucking word you say. Until you come with receipts, factual information that can be verified, you're right. There's no chance that I'm going to believe a single fucking thing that comes out of any of your mouths because you all are habitual liars and you sit there and do it boldly.
Hey, Judy, you don't want to believe me? Go ahead. But you're going to see it when it comes to court because this is bullshit. In our country, you're innocent until proven guilty. You can't just.
I don't know what that you'll see it when it comes to court. But let me address that because if this does go to court and I was to ever get called in for some weird reason, I don't know why I would because I'm just a normal person giving an opinion on a YouTube channel and a Facebook page like everybody else. But let's say they did call me in for some reason because nonsense was the big thorn in everybody's side that started all this. Let's just say that. Guess what, Goose? My ass is going in there and sitting right here and looking at that judge and telling him the exact same thing I'll tell you. I will own every single thing I have said and done because the facts are the facts are the facts. And at that point in time, why would I be afraid of finding out in court what the facts are? If it takes going to that length, then so be it. Marvon deserves dignity. Marvon deserves his voice to be heard.
Accuse somebody of doing something wrong just because you're not getting the information you want as a fucking YouTuber. And you know what? Everybody who knows me on YouTube knows that it takes a lot for me to get pissed. But when Letitia is literally going through stuff at home, she's having to wear double masks on her face and a fucking headband because her Bell's palsy is scaring. She doesn't want to scare her clients. I mean, this is serious. You guys are seriously fucking with somebody's life right now.
I don't think anybody is mocking the fact that she's got Bell's palsy. What is being said is that it's awfully ridiculous that you are trying to blame creators and social media for her having stress in her life when her son is currently in a coma. You want to blame YouTubers and creators for her medical condition, but you will not acknowledge that her son is in a coma, and that is stressful in itself. And you also won't acknowledge that Letitia has made a choice to stay associated with certain creators and or involved in the drama on social media. That has been a choice she has made. On top of her son being in a coma, she willingly put herself in these positions and has continued to go back. So before you start passing blame for people's medical issues, know the facts.
I don't even understand how people can be so cruel, how somebody can accuse somebody. It's like you act like you're a judge or something. You're a fucking YouTuber. You're not entitled to any information. If somebody wants to file a police report, file a police report.
Again, her words, not mine. If somebody wants to file a police report, let them file a police report. Exactly. Because in our country, we have policies and procedures in place to handle these types of situations. So if you feel that you have potentially been involved in something and want to ask questions, you are free to call or file any type of report you want. That is our freedoms. But you guys are pissed off as hell. And you seem to miss that Letitia said she was being harassed and that reports were being made. So it's okay for you guys to do it, but not people on the other side. I get it. Okay.
But in the end, you're going to look fucking stupid. If somebody had come to Letitia and been nice and not accusatory in the beginning, she probably would have been like, hey, here you go. Here's this, everything.
And this is where the replacement advocate really shows. Because Goose, unlike you are obviously not aware of, Many people have gone to Letitia and tried to broker peace between Letitia and Dre, even. Many people from Dre's side of things tried to reach out to Letitia to do things peacefully so she could see her son off social media, so there could be peace. There was many people that reached out to Letitia because they were concerned about Letitia. In fact, questions started happening because people were actually becoming concerned that Letitia might actually be the one being taken advantage of. That's what a lot of people thought in the beginning. I was one of them. However, the facts have been the facts, and you cannot disprove that. And unfortunately, what we see is what we have. And that is Letitia has had a hand in all of it.
But people accuse her over nothing. It's not like it's some simple task for her to go back and look at she took a screenshot of every single donation, every single payment, every single refund.
Well, if she would have had an advocate that gave a shit about her or knew what the hell they were doing from the get-go, that would have never came to that. But here we are. So let me explain for anybody that doesn't know. Cash App actually has a button within it that says statements. You can go in that area, push the button, and it'll bring up monthly statements, just like a bank statement. All of your transactions are located there. It is broke down. It is super easy to understand.
She's literally paid her attorney $8,700 so far. So for all you
I'm not a mathematician, and I've been saying that, but let's just go out on a limb here for a moment. Let's say she paid her attorney $8,700, and we've heard them claim that it's $350 an hour is what she has to pay this attorney. That's about 25 hours. 25 hours and 8 weeks, and there has not been a single thing filed yet on behalf of Marvon by Letitia. Not a single thing in any Arizona court systems. You can check. They said it's public record, so you should easily be able to access that. However, it's not there. Mind the hissing in the background. 2 of the cats are right here playing as always because I'm trying to record, so they've got to make noise. And they're pains in the butts. One of these days, I will have to share videos of them because they are absolutely insane. And either they're playing and roughhousing around, or the one is sprawled out like a dumbass in my lap.
people who think she doesn't have an attorney, fuck you. She does have an attorney. She paid a $4,000 retainer at first. Then she paid it was either $2,800 or $2,900, and then she paid a second payment of either $1,800 or $1,900.
I'm just going to break this down because this shit pisses me off. You claim you're her advocate. You've been speaking on her behalf for long enough, way too long at this point already. You should have never spoken on her behalf in the first place because you've made the situation so much worse. But, okay, you're her advocate, and you can't say clearly what she's actually spent on an attorney. So you want us to believe that you've seen receipts that show that she's paid the attorney this much, but you yourself cannot adequately communicate this to anybody because you don't know the exact amount. Does this make sense to you, Goose? Do you realize what a fool you look like? You're advocating for somebody, but you don't even have the facts to advocate for them. Make it make sense. You look foolish because you don't have the information to back up what you're saying. You want people to just blindly believe what you're saying. No proofs, no facts, no nothing.
And you guys all think because you're not entitled to her information. I mean, shit, her attorney gets doxxed, and people think, oh, well, she could be working pro bono. Really? Come on.
But hold on. Is that her attorney that actually got doxxed? Because that's the attorney that she was supposed to complete an agreement with by sending a money order. You know, the money order that never got sent to the attorney? The $2,500 money order that was supposed to be sent to this attorney to secure the agreement and her representation, but said money order was actually never sent. So is this actually her attorney that got doxxed? That's what you're claiming. But then statements that have been made do not verify that at all, because that attorney is also the one that advised Letitia to stay off social media, which she hasn't done. So is this her attorney that actually got doxxed? You tell me. Y'all out here making this attorney look foolish, and nobody even knows if that's the actual attorney. Making a ton of claims, but nobody knows.
Between between 20 and 30 people called her attorney.
Goose, did you know that Letitia said 300?
And you know who got billed for that? Letitia.
If you even remotely believe that that is true or potentially something that could happen, I encourage you to call your local state bar association and ask them if that would be legal and or ethical, and if an attorney could be disbarred for behaviors like that. Because you can't bill a client for attorney hours of $350 is what they claim was billed for these phone calls. For phone calls that are handled by a receptionist, even if the attorney handled them, they cannot charge excessive amounts like that. That would never fly, ever. And please tell me what attorney is also going to take all of these said phone calls and then bill somebody for them. Can you please tell me that that's what's going to happen? And they're going to still allow their client to sit on social media?
So
Every
she did.
fucking time one of you people called and talked to her attorney, Letitia got billed. She's paying $350 an hour. Is this enough for you guys?
All right, she said it. $350 an hour, $8,700 paid to the attorney. So that's about 25 hours. 8 weeks in, supposedly, since this attorney was hired around the 10th, 12th, let's say the 12th through the 14th of July, somewhere in that window is supposedly when this agreement or retainer was paid for the attorney. That's what we've all heard them say, but there is nothing filed. Not a single filing. Nothing has been done. We see that Letitia has actually reached out to Dre and said, hey, I'm going to be making a return trip. I'm just giving you forewarning, basically. I'm paraphrasing, but you can see her text messages. They're on my page on Facebook and also videos.
She didn't make $20,000 in all the donations.
I believe it was actually more, in my opinion.
And then you know what? Subtract $8,700. Subtract 2 trips. Yes, 2 fucking trips. The first trip.
All right, since she asked, we will do it. $20,000. Let's take $20,000. That's what we're just going to say on the low side of things that she made. Okay, she's claiming $8,700 for the attorney, right? So we know that she's got $11,300 at that point in time. Then they're claiming 2 trips to Arizona. So let's give them $4,000 for each trip. That's $8,000. So $11,300 minus $8,000 is $3,300 that she still had left. But they're telling us that in July, her Cash App account was in the negative. But we've also heard them state in the middle of July that none of the funds had been touched on GoFundMe, that those funds were still there. And if people wanted refunds, they could get refunds through GoFundMe because the funds were still there. So we've got funds on multiple platforms, and the math ain't math in here, Goose, at all.
She couldn't see him. She had no idea where he was, so she went home. The second trip was because her attorney talked with Dre's attorney. And you know what? She had to sign an NDA to not even tell Lynette and Marvon Sr. where he was.
It's true.
I thought the first trip she couldn't see him because there was actually an order of protection placed on Letitia by Dre. I thought that's what the story was. But then that story got quickly switched up to that ended on the end of June. At the end of June, excuse me, I misspoke again. At the end of June, supposedly this restraining order had stopped. But again, not a single thing ever filed in court. Dre says she never got a restraining order. We've seen that in text messages. Again, it's all there, you guys. This has all been provided. Every single bit of this. There was no restraining order that was ever filed on Letitia. But let's say she went to Arizona at the beginning of July. She claims that she was there for 3 days. She flew over there and flew back, and it was just her and her husband. That was the first trip that we've seen text messages of. But they were communicating then.
You guys think this is a fucking game because you're used to being assholes on YouTube. This is somebody's real life. Real life.
Word to the wise, I'm an asshole in real life. Ask my family. They'll all tell you the same exact thing. I'm an asshole in real life, not just on YouTube or Facebook. I'm an asshole. What I don't like is liars. I don't like people using a situation that is tragic in itself to exploit a situation. I don't like messy adults who take zero accountability for their behaviors and or actions. So before you start telling people that they're assholes on YouTube, know who you're talking to. I don't need some two brain cell twit that sits on panels on YouTube as their life fulfillment to tell me about myself. I tell myself about myself every day. Yes, I annoy the piss out of myself at times. But one thing I don't do is lie blatantly to people to push off a narrative that lines my pocket. That's what I don't do.
Now back in the hospital for the second time. The second time. I hope this is like hurting somebody's heart just a little bit.
I'll tell you what hurts my heart. What hurts my heart is that this is supposed to be a story about Marvon. Marvon McRae was the focus of the story. That's what we all thought, right? But this has become about everything but Marvon. Where is the dignity in this for Marvon? Where is justice in this for Marvon? Can you explain that to me? That's what hurts my heart, is that Marvon's life is being lied on by supposedly people that love and care about him. That bothers me. It bothers me that these people consider themselves his family and that they love him the most. If they are willing to go to these extents on social media and participate in the things that they have had done on social media and been around on social media, yeah, I have a lot of questions and a lot of concerns.
Because I don't even know this woman and my heart hurts for her. I stayed up all night last night because I had this awful feeling. And then I get a text message from her. Hey Goose, how are you doing? I'm not doing very well. I have never gotten a message like that from Letitia.
My heart breaks for the family because every single one of them is going through this and it will forever impact their lives every day for the rest of their lives. And social media is not helping the family at all. Not a single one of them. That hurts my heart too. It hurts to know that many people have offered solid, good, loving advice and they've been denied over and over again. People have tried to put a stop to this and end this for Marvon's sake, for Letitia's sake, but been ignored.
And so I called her immediately, and she's sitting in the ER waiting to go into the waiting to get called back by the nurse. She'd been there for 3 hours, sitting there by herself. Why? Because a bunch of fucking people on YouTube decided to go into her life and stress her out. Nobody.
So again, we're going to blame people on YouTube, complete random strangers, for what's happening in her life. We're not going to take into account that her son's in a coma or that things have been stressful on social media. You know, the place where she has actively made a choice to continue to participate. Okay.
Decided to try to be peaceful or calm or say, hey, by the way, do you think maybe we could get this? No.
Actually, they did many, many times.
Seatbelt.
So for the people that are just coming in, I'm mad because Letitia is in the hospital right now. That's why I'm mad. Because
yes, we all know your feathers are in a fluff.
We kept trying to tell people, like, you know, just stop. We're giving you information. And people just
do 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 do. Does anybody remember that theme song? I think it's off of Jeopardy. Well, they've had plenty of time to provide this proof and everything that they said they were going to. In fact, Goose has been talking about this, like I said, for a month now. And there's been nothing shown. They have no intentions on showing anything and haven't all along. Not at all.
weren't getting it.
People are sending me clips of this guy saying that Letitia is threatening to dox people. Please, Letitia doesn't even know what doxing means.
Okay, so
Oh, Big Juicy's gonna speak finally. She's done patting her tears. But Big Juicy, just so you know, you're incorrect once again. Because if you remember just a few minutes ago, Goose mentioned that Letitia's attorney got doxxed. Do you know who brought that up on your stream? Letitia. Letitia told you they doxed her attorney. So if Letitia doesn't know what doxing is, why did she say her attorney was doxed? Can you answer that for me? Because I'm pretty sure that she is well aware of what doxing is. You are the exclusive creator for the family, and that's your favorite pastime. You love to dox, especially your Patreons, your friends, your followers, anybody that rubs you the wrong way. That's you. She absolutely knows what it is. So good try at playing dumb, but not going to work.
here's the thing. Letitia has never once threatened to dox anybody, okay?
No,
But you know
No, Letitia just wants to roast them.
what? I want to take a poll, okay? Everybody in chat, okay? I personally feel that every single person who scammed Letitia and sent her a request for payment and she paid it thinking it was a refund, put a one in the chat if you think that those people should be known. Because
Well, shucks, we can do that too. So let's put a 1 in the chat. If you think that the people that scammed Letitia, according to what they're saying, these are not the donators, these are not people that asked for refunds. These are people that never sent money to Letitia at all. And they sent in a request, and Letitia sent them money back off that request, aka would be and basically scamming her, I guess. So, do you think that those people should be exposed? Yeah, we all think that. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that if Letitia was actually scammed, they should be named and shamed. We all think that. We've all been saying that. If she was scammed, show it. Let's get to the bottom of this situation. But many of you know that most people do not believe that that actually went down the way that they're trying to pass it off.
I feel that a scammer should fucking be known. And you know what? You all want to accuse Marissa and Justin and LB and Letitia for being scammers, but you know what? What's wrong with having the real scammers come out?
Many of us have said, get us the information and we will absolutely blast these scammers. But we have to be able to prove that there is scammers involved. Without proof of this, how are we supposed to blast these people? You just going to provide us a list of names and we're supposed to take that and run with it? Is that how this is going to go down? You say that you want us to blast these people that scammed Letitia, but won't provide proof.
I would want to know if somebody was going around with Cash App and scamming people whose sons are in the hospital in a coma. But yeah, you're worried about fucking doxing? Do you guys understand? Letitia has literally received death threats. Text messages, not text messages, Facebook messages, telling her to fucking kill herself.
Sorry, this is so redundant, but I have to repeat myself again because she just keeps saying things that we've already gone over again and again. If Letitia is being harassed, first and foremost, Letitia said that she has made reports to authorities, so that should be taken care of. Secondly, if this harassment is going on, show it. Show it. Why are you protecting the people you claim are harassing Letitia? Show it.
And yeah, this is all gonna come out. Yeah, she's gonna tell the police because it's gotten to the point where people just don't know when to shut the fuck up.
People don't know when to shut the fuck up. Goose, take your own advice. Shut the fuck up. Sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up. Because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You haven't since you opened your fucking mouth. All you do is honk and squawk. Same old bullshit. Nothing but lies. There is not a single fucking thing to back up anything you're saying. And if there was, you would know facts. You're just spewing more bullshit like the rest of them.
And I'm sorry, I am mad because this is not fair.
You know who it's not fair to? Marvon and his family. Marvon, his wife, and his children. And all of the people that love him. Do you know that that's who this isn't fair to? Those people.
Yeah, they should. They all need to be exposed because you know what? If you're gonna call somebody a scammer like Letitia and Marissa and Justin and LB,
no.
the real scammers are gonna come out. And you know what? All those people who scammed her, they deserve to have their Cash App shown.
What are we waiting for? Show it. Fucking show it, Goose. Instead of talking about it, be about it. You run your mouth a lot, but there's no backup. There's no follow through. You can't show it because you don't have it.
So people know that those people are scammers, and then I think Letitia needs to ask them for a refund.
I could fully get behind Letitia getting refunds from all these supposed requests that she paid and then actually sending that money to the actual people that are owed refunds. That would be something. But that's just not going to happen, unfortunately, because we know that that's not how things went down. But going in their theory, you know, hey, there's always something possible, right?
Now let's just say it one more time. Let's just say it one more time. I just put a video out. Everyone, we need 3 videos of where he's specifically saying.
Marissa, I'm already working on that right now, so
all right,
you don't need to worry about it.
All right, so check this out. There's 7, count it, 7 people or whatever of these fake Letitia
There was 7 accounts in the beginning where when Letitia first.
I'm really confused by the fact that these people consider themselves true crime content creators. But anyways, that's not true either. There was more than 7 fake accounts similar to Letitia's Cash App. But that's common in these big fundraisers.
Created her Cash App. People went and made one that looked similar.
How is she responsible for those? She's not.
I just need to clarify this because I can only speak for myself in this also, but I need to make this clear because they're being really messy right here. I have only seen refund requests that are verified that have been sent to Letitia's actual account. I've never seen any type of refund request being sent to any account besides Letitia's. The ones that are asking for refunds absolutely have proof that they donated directly to Letitia's real account, not a scam account, not a fake account, not a duplicate account, not a cloned account, none of the above. These were actual donations sent to Letitia and refunds requested on those donations. Not anything to do with all these other accounts. But in big fundraisers like this, it is common that accounts get cloned.
That the people that are saying they requested refunds, that they didn't go directly to Letitia. Letitia literally has one open that was requested through her.
Again, this is being streamed on September 6th. They're saying that Letitia only has one refund request open at that point in time. And we know that she still has one big one outstanding. But we also know that refund requests actually started back on July 9th, 10th. That's when we have Letitia confirmed that she was being asked for refunds and people were asking questions about the money. We've seen that in text messages. So this is months after the fact. Refund requests expire. They also went in and cleaned up Cash App, blocked people off Cash App for a period of time. Actually, it's happened multiple times. So refund requests aren't there like they were.
She doesn't have any other open requests for refunds. And UniRock wants to say,
I have 2 people in my inbox currently that have sent refund requests. The refund requests have since expired, and they are afraid to send another request because everybody that has been sending requests has been doxxed.
oh, well, that's because you guys had to shut it all off. You know what, motherfucker? If it was still shut off, nobody would have been able to try to scam her the other night for $850.
This is part of the ongoing confusion because this is, again, September 6th. Refund requests started back in July. They're trying to mix it all into one event. They started blocking people off Cash App back around July 26th. We have that in confirmed messages between Gigi and Letitia. That's been confirmed already. It happened another time after.
And nobody would have been able to send her a $25 request for refund after the fucking live. So you
Boom.
can double check things before you start saying, oh, well, it's
I kind of want to address something right here just briefly. I'm not going to go deep into it, but if you are sending donations currently with the intentions of just turning around and requesting a refund, please stop. You're muddying the water. It looks messy and is unnecessary. These people donated out of the generosity of their heart a while ago and felt like what they sent their money for is not what they intended it for. That's why they have asked for refunds. People that are just playing games and all of this nonsense, I truly believe is a distraction coming from that side themselves. I believe that this is a lot of their own setups that they are doing as distractions. I think that a few people that they have recently been going back and forth with are intentional distractions, if you get what I'm saying. I think there's more to it, a lot.
shut off. Nobody can request refunds. Yes, they can. Maybe the thing is that maybe people are lying to you, UniRock. Did you ever think of that? Did you ever think of that? Maybe a lot of the people that are bringing you information, maybe it's not legit.
It's not.
Like Michelle. Michelle is saying that she requested a refund for $25.
And this right here is exactly my point. Let's talk about somebody other than Michelle. Let's talk about somebody that is actually expecting a refund, that has been promised a refund by Letitia. Let's talk about them and their information. And let's hear you guys say that that's all bullshit and not factual information. You keep going for the intentional distractions in the story.
It's not going through Letitia. She must be going through regular Cash App because when you look at Letitia, at her account, it doesn't show any request for refunds. She sent it to me 3 times.
Look at this picture of this woman. This is a woman named Lisa that's habitually in his chat. She sent me a threat weeks ago. She goes inside of his chat all the time.
And this proves once again that this is all an intentional distraction. That type of stuff muddies it, and all you're giving them is exactly what they want. Because here they are able to once again distract from the actual truth and things that are happening. There are a bunch of people that are owed refunds who have proof and solid proof and facts. That's it. But instead, they want to talk about all of these messes. They want to talk about all of the distractions. They want to talk about the drama. They want to talk about certain people. That's it. They won't talk about the ones that have proof of what they're saying. They go for this continual intentional distraction. And you're not going to convince me that it's not intentional. It is absolutely intentional. Do I know that whoever this lady is from one side or the other? Nope, don't know, don't care. It's a distraction.
The other night, she used a fake picture of a younger girl requesting Letitia send her $850.
Yep, and then when I called her out,
her inside of his chat.
yeah, and when I called her out, then she went and she canceled it, and then she changed the picture to a purple tea or a blue tea or whatever, and she changed her name from Christina to Tina.
Yep, Tina something.
It was just Christina to start with.
Tina Hyde. She said, I did donate and got scammed. Fact.
Okay,
That's
well, the
what she
fact that you didn't get scammed. So all these people that are claiming that they got scammed, the only thing is you didn't get the
I have no clue what actually went on with that $850 request refund. I don't have a clue. Wasn't there, don't care. But what I know is that it's just a bunch of bullshit distractions. That's all it is. Because that lady isn't involved in the meat and potatoes of the story. That is a shitty distraction. And if somebody is doing stuff like that, that's pretty sad and stupid because there is a very serious matter at hand here. So doing shit like that is just to muddy up the water. People like this play stupid games because they like to win stupid prizes. Don't know, don't understand, will never understand.
information when you wanted it. Okay, you guys have no idea just the amount of stress that Letitia is going through right now. You don't hear her when she's. I think there's one time when she came on panel and she was crying when she was talking to her.
Do you need me to send you the voice clip that she mass sent to everybody? The same one of her crying and hyperventilating? Do you want me to send that to you, Goose? Because yeah, we have all heard it. If you need to hear it for yourself, it's over on my Facebook page. You're welcome. And again, we know how much stress she's under. That is why multiple people have advised that she got off social media because we see the things that are happening. And we know that this isn't good for anybody's health in her situation, considering her son's in a coma.
But you guys don't usually hear that. You don't hear her when she's crying late at night because she can't sleep and she doesn't want to go into her house because she doesn't want to take in the negative energy. You guys don't hear that. We hear that. I hear.
But nobody is forcing you to hear that. Nobody is forcing her to be on social media. Nobody is forcing things to continue to go this direction, but people
Letitia
from
cry.
that
I hear
side.
her asking, "What did I do to these people? What did I do to make them hate me so much?"
This is so uncomfortable and weird that they keep trying to make this such a personal vendetta because it's not that at all. I don't have any personal feelings whatsoever towards any of these people. I do not hate Letitia. I do not hate Molly. I do not hate Justin, Elle, Goose. I dislike their behaviors. I absolutely despise their behaviors. Yes, I hate their behaviors. I think it's disgusting and vile, the things that they have continued to do. 100%. I will say that until I'm blue in the face.
I mean, it's like
But
the worst feeling when you're getting proof after proof after proof, and you try to tell people and you try to explain things, but you know if you show them a little bit, then they're gonna want more and they're gonna want more and they're gonna want more. But you know what? That's fine.
But that's not how it works. If you provide adequate proof of the story you're telling, it shuts the door. Do you not understand that? If you provide the facts and only the facts, it leaves no open doors. Do you get that? You're in true crime, right? That's, again, your words, not mine, because I wouldn't put you there. But you guys should know that. It shuts down a lot.
This is just all gonna go to the police, and then we'll see how they want to deal with it. Because
I think Goose must have been still migrating south for the summer when things were talked about because she must have missed the fact that Letitia, herself already spoke on this. Oh, that's right. It was in my inbox, and I provided those receipts also. She said reports had been made to authorities because of the harassment already.
This is unfair. You in the United States, you're innocent until proven guilty. You can't.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? Actually, at this point, it's not ironic. It's fucking annoying. It's annoying that they continue to just pass off misinformation over and over and over again. I am being kind by calling it misinformation. Yes, it's fucking blatant lies. You're right. It is blatant lies. They expect this courtesy to be extended to Letitia, that Letitia should be extended this courtesy. But Dre, oh, hell to the no. Nope, not a second. Nope, she's guilty. I don't know of what, but that's what they've basically accused her of from day one. And just to be clear, no, nobody's even been charged with a crime in any part of the story. But they want that consideration given to Letitia, but they ain't about to give that same consideration to anybody else. Nope, doesn't fit their narrative, doesn't fit their storyline. Here they are.
You can't just say that somebody's guilty of all this stuff because you don't have the information when you want it.
I laugh about this part so bad because this is again where they try to combine everybody that's asked questions or has a difference of opinion into one group because we didn't get the information that we wanted. Again, they're alluding to this being driven by Katie. Katie has nothing to do with anything on my channel or my content or where I went in any of the story. Do you guys get that even Katie and I were on different pages in this story for quite a while? You can look at our content and see that. You guys need to open your eyes. There have been people asking these questions before I came along. Many people had. This conversation was started before all of you loudmouth YouTubers with no brain cells got involved. Yeah, shocker, huh? There's a whole world out there that you guys obviously don't know about. Well, you know about it, but you only see what you want to see.
This is the worst.
You think that because in the beginning she showed that she had like a decent amount of money and during a couple of lives, you think it just continued and it was like that day after day after day after day. No, the majority of the donations weren't $100. They were $5, $10, $25. You know, yes.
Just a quick question for Goose. Goose, have you seen the accountings that Letitia was giving the admins of the Justice for Vaughn group? Have you seen those text messages from Letitia about how much she was making a night on average or roughly? 1900, 1650, and that was very early on. Very early on. Those were numbers coming from her. Nobody else but her. People have came up with high amounts of money because we've all seen the repetitive comments with the high amounts of donations that have been acknowledged. Those have been acknowledged in streams. Many people. There has been far more than they claim.
There were some big ones, but you have to remember, she gave back $5,100, of which part of that was literally
These tricky little tricksters and their little play on words and the attempts that they have to pass off more BS is ridiculous. But no, she did not give $5,100 in refunds. Once again, she gave $1,100 in refunds. That was on GoFundMe, so she didn't really have anything to do with that. GoFundMe issued an $1,100 refund and possibly has issued a few more. I don't know. But on Cash App, nothing has been refunded. If anything has been sent, it was $4,000 that you guys are claiming was sent to random people that sent her random requests. That's what we're going with. That's your claim. Okay. But stop trying to twist this as it's refunds because not a single person that actually donated and requested a refund has been issued a refund. Not a single one. There has been proof of not a single donation refunded to a legitimate donator at this point in time. Not a single one.
her being scammed. And yes, I asked her to confirm this morning. I asked her, had anybody else requested a refund or gotten a refund prior to Katie? No.
Well, we know that was another lie because we actually have proof that refunds had started to be requested back on July 10th. Katie didn't request her refund until almost 2 weeks after. Not quite 2 weeks, but she requested way later. This had already been happening. There's a whole piece of this story that you guys are refusing to acknowledge because it changes the entire story and doesn't fit your narrative. There is a whole entire piece of this that you are failing to acknowledge. So either Letitia is blatantly lying to you if she told you that. If that is her answer to you, it's a blatant lie. But if that's not her answer and you're the one that's just saying that, then you're the one blatantly lying. So I would suggest you go figure that out because we have that proof.
So in case Katie decides to go, well, how do I know that I was the first person to request a refund? Well, you were. It was confirmed this morning. Believe me or don't, I really don't give a fuck at this point.
I'll stick to, no, I don't believe a fucking thing you're saying because here, right in front of you, is proof that you're lying. Look at the date, July 10th. Cat got your tongue all of a sudden?
And yeah, anybody who has any proof of Haiti or Unirock or nonsense or anybody claiming a certain amount of money that's over $20,000, please take clips, screen.
I could save you time. If you want to come to my inbox, I will absolutely send you whatever you need. Because, yes, in my opinion, I do believe that she got more than $20,000, 100%. Do I have ability of proving how much Letitia got in total on this fundraiser? Fuck no. Nobody does. And if you've been paying attention or listening to the facts in this, Goose, everybody that is spewing facts has said that. There's absolutely no way to get an accurate accounting at this point in time. That is something a forensic accountant would have to do. Not me, not some freaking mom off of the internet that has zero access to her accounts. How do you expect me to have a number? So if you've been listening, we've been talking about that openly, that we don't know, that people have thrown out really high numbers. I don't think it's excess of certain amounts, but I think it's a lot.
Screenshots, whatever, and you can send them to Marissa. You can email them to her, or you can send them to you can find me on Twitter at Goose42 if you want. But I mean, I'm so sick of this. This is Unirock.
Yes, please do send Molly everything on my page. I would appreciate Molly getting every single receipt that has been posted and every single thing that we've proven to be facts in this case. Send away, people, if you feel so inclined.
Made over 20 videos. I didn't realize he made that many fucking videos. That's psychotic. And then when I watched,
wait, that's the psychotic behavior in this? I can tell you definitely don't have a psychology degree. That's for sure. But again, that's the psychotic behavior you want to point out is the amount of videos we've made.
LBs and saw like, no shit, he's making video after video after video because prior to that,
he's using my face and my name. He's gotten more attention off of me and he can't stop. And I'm going to mention that his greed is what's motivating him. Greed.
Are you talking about greed right now? Really? Really, Molly? And you have milked this on a daily basis for how long now? And you want to talk about anybody doing anything greedy? And you want to talk about those clickbait pictures and titles you use with minor children in them? You want to talk about that?
And I want $5,000 for myself, and I'm going to encourage Justin to seek the maximum and Letitia to seek the maximum in this county, $5,000.
Guess I need to clarify. I know they're not addressing me in this, but I'm going to address myself in this. Come at me, bitches. Come for me. Come on. Bring it on. I dare you. 100% dare you. Go for it. Take me to court. I would love to see it. Yes, Your Honor. I did absolutely post proof and facts. Yes, Your Honor. I did. I confirmed that that was factual. Yes, Your Honor. That's where I got that. Yes, Your Honor. Yes. Yep. Absolutely did point that out. 100%. Come at me, bitches. I'm ready. Because guess what? I'm standing on facts. That's it.
It's just, you don't call me stupid, but I actually tried to give Unirock a chance, and now I feel like a fucking idiot. Because I couldn't believe that somebody could go up and be so fucking fake and phony. That's fine, Unirock. You know what? You don't even have to believe me. I don't care at this point.
Since when do grown adults just take the word of some random stranger on YouTube as fact? Can anybody enlighten me? Because I guess I missed a whole lot. Especially people that tout themselves to be a part of the true crime community. I cannot wrap my brain around this at all. Like, one bit. That people from the true crime community actually think and operate like this.
But I haven't lied. Just because you're used to people lying to you 24/7 on YouTube doesn't mean that every single person lies.
Anybody got a chalkboard or a whiteboard handy and want to start keeping track of all the lies that they're caught telling or that they have told at this point in time? Because it's steamroll ahead. They have just continued and continued and continued. You might need to paint an entire wall in your house with chalkboard paint at the rate that this is going. But if you want to take on something, if you really have that much time, I mean, hey, it might be a fun project. Actually, probably not.
Yes, we are. 3 of us.
You guys seem to forget that Letitia is literally every single day when we stop watching YouTube and we're not making videos or whatever, she's still dealing with the fact that her son is in a coma and she doesn't know where he's at right now.
This was on September 6th that they're claiming that Letitia does not know where Marvon's location is. But she just made a post a couple days ago that alluded to him being in a nursing home. So what is it? Does she know where he's at or does she not? And supposedly she knew his location and couldn't give it to Marvon Sr. just days before this.
Thanks to everybody here, Dre's attorney won't even contact Letitia's attorney now.
So you want us to believe that it is ethical that 2 attorneys that have been retained by individuals, hired to do a job, right? They're paid to do a job, that they are neglecting to do their job because there's been some social media shenanigans. You're telling me that 2 professional attorneys that are governed by a state bar association are not going to communicate because there's some stuff on social media happening.
So every night she goes to sleep wondering, is this going to be the last night my son is alive, or is he still alive? Am I going to see him? Am I not going to see him?
We don't know.
And once again, that's just emotional manipulation right there. Letitia has seen Marvon. We all know that. They're aware of that. She hasn't gone back for a second time. People have offered many times to pay for plane tickets, everything. We've seen her text Dre and say that she plans on returning, but no trip has happened at this point in time.
Because I hope that in the future, before people start blaming people of being scammers and fraudsters and bringing so much hate and negativity and violence into their life, that they just stop and say for 1 second, like, wait, what if the shoe was on the other foot? What if I was Letitia? And I was just so...
Goose, your feathers are still in a fluff and you're hyperventilating. I need you to slow down, though, and listen to what you're saying. Slow down and actually re-watch what you just said. And then apply that logic to Dre. Apply that same compassion that you want extended to Letitia to Dre. And then look at the lady sitting next to you. And look what she has encouraged and condoned by her followers and people that she's brought up on panel with her to continue to spread hate and negativity towards Dre. Not only has Molly done it, but Letitia has also participated in this same behavior. So you, again, want us to extend this courtesy to Letitia, but none of you will extend this courtesy to Dre at all and have it since day one, nor intend to at all at this point. It's obvious.
Busy that I couldn't get all this stuff out. She's working double shifts to try to save up extra money so that she's been able to pay her attorney more. And then, like I said, in July,
using your theory, you should be really concerned. You should be concerned that you are stating that Letitia has paid $8,700 to an attorney and that nothing has been filed in the court. You should be concerned of that. Instead of sitting here messing with all this stuff, if she's got an attorney, like you guys are claiming, and she's paid $8,700 and nothing has been done, that should be your concern. That should be your focus. But it's not. And why is that? If you were actually concerned about Letitia, that would be
she finished July with a negative amount in her Cash App because she ended up paying more than what she brought in. Don't believe me? I don't care.
I need more than words to believe you. I need proof that these things happened. I need something tangible beyond your words, because no, I don't believe a fucking word you say.
Goose talks to Letitia every night. It's almost like Goose has been a victim's advocate for her. And
Oh, what? A victim's advocate? You've got to be fucking kidding me right now. A victim's advocate. Again, they made this about justice for Letitia now. They have completely taken Marvon's story away from Marvon.
we've just because she habitually is a guest on Tia Simone's channel
They kind of like always the guest, not the creator.
late night. This don't listen. This isn't about striper. This is more
No, this is
about
real life. This isn't YouTube. This has gone past YouTube.
no. This has gone way past. This is him saying to attack MollyGoLightly LLC, and my husband completely backs this. My husband's completely center points what he has said wrong, what he is liable for, and what's better. And then when he came on here,
It makes me so mad when she does this because, first of all, I don't know if her husband really is aware of what is actually going on in this story. If he is and he is saying that stuff, then he can't possibly have the facts. Because if he was provided the facts and the details of what is going on, I do not see how he would possibly have that take. Because the facts are the facts are the facts. And I think being a smart man, like he sounds to be, he would have absolutely said, "Hey, there's issues."
he actually had the nerve to kiss our asses and say that he was on disability himself for being a veteran himself, that he was in a coma himself, and that he did CPR on his own child. One would think that he would have the compassion, sympathy, and empathy for people in the same position as him. No, he's all
Why
about
not ask the question?
Gotta keep making this a personal attack.
Why keep talking about KJ? I'm sorry.
He answered nothing. He answered nothing. And
I
now
honestly hope this
Exactly what was he supposed to answer for you?
chat
he
realized.
decided, no, we're gonna go through. Honestly, I don't care if it costs me more money than what I'm gonna take from him.
Again, with the nonsense.
At this point, it's a matter of right versus wrong,
We've
because what
already-
happened is not okay. And for
Exactly.
people asking, I want to explain this, okay? Because Unirock thought that the whole reason a probate attorney was hired was because Letitia was going to go after his, like, try to go after Vaughn's, like,
Estate?
personal stuff. You know, like his, yes, exactly.
Can't speak for Uni and or what he said and didn't say in this situation, but what I can say is that it was Marvon Sr. who actually brought up the assets in this story. He actually brought that up during a stream when he was live with Molly on her channel.
No,
because
they just want to see their boy. They never even brought that up.
Right, somebody brought up
Yes,
that maybe
it
a
is.
probate attorney would be good, and so Letitia
What type of attorney it is at this point is irrelevant.
was like, oh, okay, she goes to the first attorney. The first attorney wants a huge retainer, and then so she finds this other attorney, and this attorney only wants $4,000. Okay, well, $4,000 doesn't.
Hate to break it to you, but once again, sweetheart, you are wrong because many attorneys, not just two, had declined taking this case. Many had. They had been calling around for days trying to find somebody that would touch this case, and nobody would. And then when they finally found one, supposedly they were too expensive.
Go very far when you're paying $350 an hour and you're getting billed for all the times that these stupid idiots are calling the attorney's office asking if she's Letitia Bias's attorney. You know who got billed for that? I'm gonna repeat myself. Letitia. She got billed for that.
I just have to caution you, Goose, because you realize that you are publicly stating that Letitia was billed by the attorney for phone calls placed to the attorney's office by random strangers off the internet. That's what you want us to believe, that her attorney billed her and she had to pay for these phone calls. This is what we are going to be telling people publicly, right? Okay.
I told Letitia, I hope that the attorney kept track of every single phone number that called, because that's
So what? The attorney can dox everybody that called?
not fair. Letitia has paid $8,700 to the attorney, and people are gonna go, but why? Because when she's getting harassed and all this shit is going on and she's wondering what to do, she's calling the attorney.
Okay, so now it's $8,700, but that's because she's calling the attorney for advice about the harassment online from social media.
She spent 3 hours in her office one day. That's almost $1,000 right there.
Actually, that's $1,050 to be correct.
I mean, you guys forget, like, attorneys are not cheap.
No, not at all.
Attorneys are absolutely not cheap at all. I agree with them on that. But attorneys are governed by a bar association. There are certain things that are not ethical and or legal. Charging excessive amounts for phone calls like they're claiming would really teeter on some issues. And some of the other things that they're claiming about this attorney, too, could put that attorney in a lot of hot water, if true.
So then she ends up, and the other thing that people forget is that all attorneys go to law school. They all learn little bits of all the laws. So yes, certain people are going to specialize in different things, but you can go, like, for instance, when I went through my custody case, my attorney specialized in, like, he was a personal injury lawyer, but I knew him and he knew enough about family law that he was able to help me with the initial paperwork. You know, people forget about this sort of stuff.
Goose, I think you might be confused about who actually made the claims about the different attorneys that were going to be needed and why and where confusion arose from that. That came from, once again, Letitia. She made statements about what types of attorneys she was going to need.
And then they start running with, ooh, a probate attorney. Maybe that means this. Oh, that means she's going to do this. That means she's going to do that. Like, you guys can't just lie because you think one thing. That's not, you can't do that.
You can't just lie because you think one thing. Okay.
A week ago, Dre McRae told Miss Wynette that she wasn't represented by an attorney and that neither was Letitia. And she had Wynette all confused.
Why would Wynette be confused at all by Dre saying that neither one of them had attorneys? I don't know why she would be confused by that. None of the rest of us are confused by that. I don't think many people really thought that there was legal representation on either side, because it seems like if you look at the text message, from the language used, the verbiage used, that it leans more to they were able to do an agreement versus a court order. But they keep sticking with it's a court order.
You know, Marvon Sr. and Wynette were looking for a pro bono lawyer. They were turned down 13 times, including Ben Crump's office.
Well, and this is
I'm not really sure what's exactly confusing out of that, because obviously Dre is saying to Wynette, I don't have an attorney and neither does Letitia. We made an arrangement for her to be able to see Marvon, is my understanding of what their text basically said. So why would Wynette be
probably
confused?
why things got mixed up in the YouTube streets and people thought that Letitia had a pro bono lawyer, because at one point there were two attorneys
Has anyone ever thought she had a pro bono attorney?
supposedly in the works, or somebody had talked to them or whatever, and they said they would be willing to work pro bono. That doesn't mean that Letitia got rid of her original attorney. She's had the same attorney since she put the $4,000 retainer down. Just because.
Once again, let's try to use their theory. So she's saying that the original attorney that was initially contacted is the one that she went with. So that's the attorney that she was supposed to have sent a $2,500 money order to. That never happened. Then somehow the retainer was told to other people that it was $4,000. The same attorney that was essentially doxxed online after all of this. But at the time, said attorney stated that she had never completed an agreement because a money order was not sent. Anybody following? So then how did the retainer go from $2,500 to $4,000? And also, the agreement was never completed, but now that's who has collected over $8,700 from Letitia, and there's nothing been filed in court. Okay.
Some people say she had an attorney then. Doesn't mean she doesn't have an attorney now. Okay? People, like, they jump on one little word and they go, oh, he said had.
Once again, absolutely far from the truth.
He said Letitia had an attorney. Yes, she had an attorney then. She still has an attorney now. Again.
So they are alluding to the fact that Letitia has had legal representation for 8 weeks. At least 8 weeks, right? That's what they're going to go with.
$8,700 has been paid to the attorney. $5,100 has been paid in refunds and in request for payment. So yes, Letitia got scammed.
Once again, using a bunch of word salad, but according to what they're saying, it's $8,700 to the attorney, $1,100 in a refund to Katie off of GoFundMe, and $4,000 in random requests.
So when I get more of those people, I hope that all of the people who said that Letitia was a scammer and they find out that she's not, I hope they have the balls and the courage to actually out the real scammers. Because if you're going to call somebody a scammer when you have zero proof of it, you're just not getting information, that's not okay.
3, 4,
one would need said proof of scam.
4, 5, 6 pages of Kelly Ford harassing Letitia Bias. Screenshot, right? So Kelly Ford, who's on the exposed pages, okay?
Molly doesn't even know who's a part of what. Clearly.
Is very upset that I blasted her in my last thing. She's pissed off that I put her on private. She thinks she's going to strike me. That's not how it goes. So I told Miss, so we got someone in there that's screenshotting everything. So I told Miss Letitia, tell Kelly Ford nothing. So Mrs. Letitia sent me everything. I'm going to put that out in a nice little video.
And yet another destruction completely.
Yeah, exactly. Kelly Ford loser. Wait until you see what she is saying to this woman. Hey, Kelly Ford, you want to know why you're alone and you're going to be alone for the rest of your life? Like I said, I had you pinned down in that other video, the way you treat people. Single and staying that way. Get used to it.
And rolls right along with continuing the attack on somebody else. Once again, the complete and utter tactic of distraction with her manipulation tactics. This is all she ever does. Distract and manipulate. Distract, manipulate.
A few times to Letitia, and I sent it to her Zelle straight to her bank, and I will continue to do so. God bless you, Miss Donna. I still give her money. I've sent to Dimas from Williams-Sonoma. God bless this lady.
Hey, Molly, do you want to talk about what you've done for Marvon in this case? Because I'm sure you've done so much for Marvon and his children, right? You've done so much for everybody involved, right?
To see her son.
And yes, Lizzie.
And she has seen her son.
To twist something.
Yeah, let me throw your son's health in your face, and then let me tell people you're being a scammer just because I'm not involved with this family anymore. You know what? Hopefully this is a little, thing for people in the future. You get way more bees with honey than you do with vinegar.
Well, with their logic, don't ever ask questions. Believe everything random people tell you on the internet as fact and run with that information all over. Tell everybody that's all we're supposed to do. Okay.
So if you're going to come at somebody and you're going to accuse them of doing something just because you're not giving the information that you want, you should think twice about that. Because people have gone to Letitia and actually been nice about things and given her some time, knowing that she's working literally 2 shifts to try to help pay for everything that's going on, and then dealing with freaking Bell's palsy on top of it. She's in the hospital right now. She was in the hospital waiting for 3 hours until she even texted me and said, hey, Goose, how are you doing? I'm not doing very good. I've never gotten a message like that from Letitia.
The spin cycle of emotional manipulation.
She has always tried to be so strong through this entire thing until we get on the phone, and then sometimes she'll start to break down. Never, ever have I gotten a message from her that said, I'm not doing very well. And I called her and she said, this morning I woke up and the whole side of my right face is drooping again. She had to go to work. She was wearing 2 masks and a tight headband to try to hold her eye up because she didn't want to end up scaring her clients, and she couldn't not go to work because she had to make money in order to be able to continue paying her attorney to try to get things taken care of so she could go down there again.
Goose, you need to slow down and listen to what you just said. Because if that story was factual, you should be highly concerned. You guys are claiming that she's got a court order allowing visitation with Marvon. That a judge issued the order, that it is how she was able to see Marvon. But now you're stating that she has to continue to pay her attorney more money in order to see Marvon. That sounds like not something that even makes any sense, or once again would be legal. They've already got a court order, right? That's what you guys have been claiming. So the attorney's already done the work. The order has been issued. What are you trying to say now? That now they're going to have to file contempt or something?
Like, these people have no idea just how bad things are behind the scenes.
Actually, I think you're the one that's pretty clueless.
Time that she's been dealing with it. She started dealing with it. How long ago was that, Marissa? Like 3 weeks ago? 4 weeks ago? I can't remember. The time is like totally blurring together, but this is the second time. The first time, she wasn't feeling well, and she told her husband, she's like, something feels wrong. The side of my face is like really hot and it's burning, and she felt like she was talking weird, and her husband was like, I'm taking you to the ER. So they went to the ER, and the doctor was like, did a bunch of tests, and then started talking to her like, hey, have you been going through some stress?
This story about the Bell's palsy actually popped off when Molly returned from Chicago. And then you remember that Molly was setting this story up, and then we saw Letitia live with Rochelle. Yeah.
And she's like, well, let me tell you about it. So this is all documented at the hospital. It's documented with the doctor. Everything is documented. So for everybody who wants to go, oh, how ironic, she got Bell's palsy just like Marissa did. It's true.
Once again, Goose, you're giving Molly too much credit because I didn't even think about anything to do with Molly. Of course, I don't follow her, nor do I give a shit what has gone on with her. My concern is Letitia because she is under insane amounts of stress, I'm sure. That is absolutely something that can trigger Bell's palsy. But she had it previously. She has not changed anything in staying away from social media, things that are causing her stress. And you guys are putting this blame on the fact that it is from social media, not even acknowledging the fact that her son is in a coma. Her son is in a coma. she has made the choices to continue to stay on social media and participate in the very things that you guys are claiming to have caused her all of this stress, right? But how does that even make sense in any of your heads? Really? Really, really?
I had it. It's stress related. It's awful. What's happening is she most likely, I had it this way. You talk like this, and your eye is open. You can't close it. They make you tape it down, and there's a gel and an eye patch. They give you a package of a steroid. You got to go for, it's the nerve right here. And you got to get acupuncture in here with like a little bit of electricity.
You can't even get a facelift because it lasted for so long and wouldn't go away.
If you or somebody you know ever does have facial drooping on the side, please, please seek medical attention. Don't take advice from anybody on social media because it can be something way more serious than Bell's palsy. Yes, stress can absolutely trigger Bell's palsy, but there's other things such as a stroke and things like that that are much more serious that it could be. So please seek medical attention and do not ever take advice from random strangers on YouTube.
9 months right there.
So all those people that want to talk shit about Maria think, oh, she just got a facelift. No, motherfucker, she got a facelift because half of her face was drooping for over 9 months.
I could care less about any modifications that anybody's had done.
And she was depressed about it. Just because you don't like somebody on YouTube doesn't mean that you can just make shit up because it just, sounds good to you. People seem to forget that on YouTube, these are real people with real lives. These aren't freaking actors and actresses on
That's quite the double standard you have.
TV shows and movies.
Bell's palsy is terrible. It's stress related. And I told her she needs some muscle relaxers. She needs to go to sleep, get a lot of rest. When you drink, you got to go like this. When you eat with the fork, the food falls out of your mouth.
It's literally like you've had a stroke.
Yeah.
So you advise her of all this stuff, and then you come to social media and tell everybody publicly what is going on. But you don't think that this is going to cause any additional stress. Okay, I gotcha.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Marissa. Anybody who's wanting a refund right this second, everything, it's not on hold. Like Uni Rock still thinks it is. It was literally on hold for.
So does that mean you want people to sign refund requests again so you guys know? Because people don't feel comfortable doing that because you guys have been doxing everybody that's asked for a refund. So I'm assuming that's not what you want.
For a very short period of time, so we could try to figure out what the fuck was going on. And it hasn't been on hold since. Hence the reason somebody was able to send an $850 request for payment the other night.
Hey, Miss Wynette.
Hey.
Hey, is everything okay?
Yes, ma'am. What's going on?
Molly is so out of touch with reality. She's in the midst of talking about stuff with Letitia, and she picks up the phone and calls Wynette, the wife and stepmother of Marvon Sr. and Marvon Jr. They don't get along.
Miss Letitia's in the hospital.
Tell her you're live.
Yeah, she got that Bell's palsy again. So she's at the hospital again. I wanted to know, is anybody...
And it's not necessarily on Wynette's end because I've never heard Wynette say anything but kind things about Letitia. But we've seen Letitia bash Wynette and Marvon Sr. both in text.
bothering you?
Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I was thinking about you today.
She calls her to find out if anybody's harassing Wynette.
And I was going to call you, but then I was walking Sassy and, oh, Lord, so much.
Is that... Have you heard anything?
No, ma'am. Hold on. Let me turn this fan off. It's right in my ear. I was going to tell you.
I am live. I have Goose with me.
Oh, hey, Miss Goose.
Hey.
Yeah, we're very concerned about Miss Letitia. She's having a hard time with stress.
Oh, my God.
We
She had to wait like 3 hours before she got called back this morning.
Yeah, they need...
Oh, shut the fuck up, you drama queens. First of all, it's the pandemic and the ER. 3 hours is not a long wait time at all. Stop sensationalizing everything. It's fucking sick and stupid. It's not that big of a deal. Thank God she got seen, and that's that. Drop it. It's so dumb. But you guys are so out of touch with reality. Wynette and Letitia don't have a good relationship. Obviously, Letitia is stating that she can't even tell Marvon Sr. where he is even located. That is what you guys have been saying. But then Letitia's in the hospital, so you pick up the phone and call Wynette to find out if people are harassing her. Why would people be harassing Wynette? Because nobody on this side has Letitia and Wynette confused. Not at all. There has been zero confusion on this side of things of who is who and what is being done by whom. That's clear.
They made Miss Letitia wait 3 hours before she can get.
Oh, I believe that.
You believe that?
I stayed in the ER at St. Joseph's for 9 hours one day, and the only thing that made it worth it is when I got back there and I had the sweetest nurse in the world. Yeah.
There's
Wynette does seem pretty reasonable most of the time.
a saboteur working with Katie, who's making these nonsensical claims that me and Justin are working for Miss Letitia in a scam. And
That is so not true.
But that's not even how the story goes, Molly.
I want you to clarify something.
Mhm.
Please clarify how Miss Dre McCrae told you to stay away, and she said that she didn't have a lawyer, and neither did Miss Letitia.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the nonsense. When I was watching your live the other day, someone said maybe someone can easily if you can't text for someone else's number. It's just
I have no clue what they're trying to pull here with the whole you can't text from somebody else's number. Obviously what happened here was Wynette called Dre. That was done live on Justin's channel. We've seen that. Dre didn't answer the phone. Wynette left a message and said, hey, call me. Then Dre responded in a text to Wynette and said, you haven't reached out to me until now to check on Marvon. Leave me alone. I'm done with this, basically. I'm paraphrasing once again. If you want to hear the full thing, Molly read it. She never showed it, but she read it, supposedly what Dre said to Wynette. Yeah, there's issues. I don't know why the confusion is what the confusion is that they're trying to make it out to be. She also said that Letitia and Dre aren't represented. What's the big deal?
ridiculous. Yeah, that's what she said. I mean,
Actually, you can.
Oh, I'm confused.
This is another twist and manipulation tactic right here, because there is no confusion in this situation. They did this on live and then got a response, and now they're trying to say they're confused by the response that they got, but have not acknowledged their behaviors.
You actually can. People can make spoof numbers. They've done it before.
But she was texting her.
Dre was?
Her number.
She sent it to her, and she called her number, and it was Raza on the.
Oh, okay, that's real. Yeah, if she called the number and they answered, then
Exactly. There is no confusion.
yeah.
That's why I was so confused. I'm like, is somebody trying to prank me? Because I know who I texted.
Now this is the other thing, Miss Wynette.
I have.
Now, Miss Wynette, a lot of people have.
Why'd you cut her off, Molly? Why didn't you let Wynette speak right there? I would love to know what Wynette was going to continue to say. Because can Wynette prove that Letitia has attorneys? Do we know that for a fact? Was Wynette going to say, I can't prove this? Is that why you cut her off? Because how could Wynette prove it?
Having a hard time understanding that you and Miss Letitia are different people.
I know.
The only people that I have seen have Wynette and Letitia confused have been Molly's own followers. That's the only people that have them confused.
I was like, they're getting Letitia and I mixed up.
And Letitia said that too.
Because some of the stuff that some people say, and I'm like, what are they talking about? I'm like, that's not me. That's they need.
Wynette, if you ever happen to see any of my videos, which I highly doubt you will, but if you do, my inbox is always open. I would love to explain to you that we don't have you confused with Letitia. Actually, a lot of us are pretty confident that we have you separated out pretty fairly. But there has been a lot of confusion because so many people are speaking for you or on behalf of you, and or trying to confuse the two of you, so you take more responsibility in this story than is necessarily yours or your husband's to take. That is my opinion, and my opinion only. But like I said, my inbox is always open. I would love to have a conversation with you and explain what started the questions and why they started. Because it's not this endless hate attack that people are trying to make it out to be. It's not at all. In fact, I was very kind to Letitia.
Yeah, because at first they thought my husband was married, and then he clarified that he wasn't. It's just too much.
That clip is actually posted in one of the Jackson's Rewind editions, if you want to see that. And that was Molly that got them confused. And Marvon Sr. set Molly straight that him and Letitia were never married. Let's be clear on that right there.
Okay, so you are not Letitia.
Has gone off of Marvon Jr. and it's just a bunch of mess now.
I 100% agree with Wynette. Unfortunately, the focus has been shifted off Marvon Jr., and now it is absolutely an epic mess.
You can take them to the
You lead a horse to water.
Hey, can one of the mods drop Marissa's email? And if it's something about Letitia or whatever, title it Letitia so she can find it easily.
The truth all day long, and they're just going to continuously believe what they want to believe. So at this point, I don't care what they believe. I know the truth. I know the truth.
That makes one person that knows the truth, thankfully.
I know the truth. I know you and Justin, y'all have did nothing. Y'all don't harass us. Y'all don't make us say things and just try to, just badger us. Y'all don't do that.
Have we asked you?
I don't know if anybody's ever made that accusation, actually.
I just don't understand.
People forget that you guys work and
mentality. I don't know. People different. I don't know. I
Yeah.
can't speak for myself.
it's just crazy how people are being, and they seem to forget that you guys are working and Letitia and her husband work. Like they seem to think that like the donations that are coming in.
That's actually not what I think at all. I think Marvon Sr. is in a very volatile spot to be involved in a social media mess like this, where he's got so much on the line and does not need to be involved in any of this nonsense. That's my personal beliefs on that. I don't care about what jobs they do or don't do. My concern is he's got the most over his head at the current time, and nobody is caring about that.
And
I wasn't even thinking when I set the love offering. I call it a love offering for Jake and his first school. I wasn't even thinking about all this stuff that was going to come out of that. I'm honestly, God.
But Molly released that intentionally. She doesn't talk about everybody that sends her a tip. She did that intentionally, Wynette.
I was like, what? And who is this man that keeps talking about why did she send her? I don't. So like I said, I have been.
First, he said it was 500.
I think you might have missed it, where you guys were basically made out to be by Molly, you know, the exclusive creator for the family, to be very down and destitute and needed help to get a return trip to be able to see Marvon.
Yeah, and then at one point I heard it was 400. I mean, these people.
I wasn't taking him to court. I sent you $500 when I got paid. When I got paid, yeah.
Yes.
Again, Wynette, we're not saying that you ever asked for the funds. This is what they've made it out to be, that you guys asked for fundraising help to be able to see Marvon. That's them.
Said this is to get you back to Arizona.
No.
Yes. They don't want to hear the truth.
No one wants to hear the truth. No. And now they're saying that Miss Letitia raised $80,000.
Well, here's the thing. If people go back and they look at Unirock's at his thumbnails, you can see the video that he was literally insinuating that stuff. And then he realized, oh shit, this isn't a good idea. So he took a little black, and he scribbled out the last zero. But you can tell that it originally said 80,000. And actually somebody has a screenshot of some of the stuff before it was changed. But it says 80,000. And then he changed it to 8,000. But you can see it says 80,00. That's not 8,000.
How many times does it have to be said? Absolutely nobody knows beyond Letitia how much was collected. That's it. That's all. End of story. The rest has all been speculation. We have all been clear.
Just because you scribbled off the last 8 doesn't mean that you can change it from 80,000 to 8.
What is it? What is he some type of, who is he? What is it? What is it to him?
I can't answer that from anybody's perspective but my own. But this is about Marvon, right? That's what this was supposed to be about. And the current behaviors that are happening by these people are hurting Marvon and his family. Your grandkids, their behaviors are hurting Marvon's family. All of you are suffering, and you're not even realizing that these creators are fueling that fire. They are fueling it and pouring gas on it.
And people that's mean and ugly. I'm not going to say Katie's name because I don't think
Did you hear that? I'm not going to say Katie's name.
I didn't know what type of, it just wasn't meant for us to be, talking to her. That's all. So I didn't understand all this.
That's how it started.
She said
Your husband had a bad feeling. That's how it started. That's all she needed.
Did Marvon Sr. hang up on Katie?
Uncalled for. I would have never in a million years did that to her family or did.
Would love to hear her clarify exactly what was done to them by that creator.
Like, my heart just doesn't go there. The fact that these people have like
ridiculous.
These people have really, really hurt Letitia. I don't even know her except for talking to her like for hours and hours, some time on end. And it just hurts my heart that there's literally people on YouTube who get a fucking joy out of like knowing that they can be wrong.
People don't have a heart. They just heartless. And it's nothing that you can do about it. It's just heartless. I've had people say bad things about, I can't even, it's sad. I have
to give props to Wynette because let me tell you, if I had a platform after somebody had said some of the stuff to me and about me that Letitia has done and said about them during this whole thing that have came out publicly, oh, you're right. I would have said a whole lot. But Wynette has been nothing but tactful and classy and nice about Letitia and has always shown respect in her direction. I can't say the other is the same at all, but I could not hold my tongue because these fools are crying about Letitia and they don't even realize that Letitia has been talking trash about Marvon Sr. and Letitia, and we've all seen it. We've seen the screenshots. They exist. But here's Wynette once again taking the high road.
It's sad. And then I turn around and I be nice to him. Because at the end of the day, you know who you are, and that's all. It is what it is. I mean,
Wynette, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt right now because I'm really hoping that sooner or later you come through and show up like I expect you're going to at some point. But it hasn't happened yet, but I'm still holding out a little bit of hope because I don't understand why you're allowing or participating in the continuing behavior that these creators have done. They have actually put you and Marvon Sr. in a really bad spot. Marvon Sr. is the one with so much hanging over his head. And if things were to be spun on you guys, that somehow this involved you, which kind of seems like they are attempting in ways, that could greatly impact his future, if you get what I'm saying. And that actually worries me because I do not feel like Wynette and Marvon Sr. came to social media for anything. Social media went to them.
I have a big blanket sitting here on the sofa. My mom threw it across they made a big blanket for me, the funeral home. And she's just sitting here watching me, just smiling. And another one she made for my grandmother, my two uncles, and my cousin. All of them is on the other side.
I mean, listen to Wynette saying she just lost her mom, which my condolences again. Of course, I feel horrible that she lost her mom. And Marvon Jr., her stepson, is in a coma. Think about the stress.
It's life is too short. I'm sorry. I will not indulge in the foolishness. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I cannot do it.
I get that she is trying to just handle a bunch of shit being thrown at her from multiple different directions. But at the same time, I sit and wonder, what does she actually think about the situation and how is it ever going to turn around? And is there ever going to be any peace in this situation for any of them with what is currently happening? I think about that and go, how can they possibly think that this is the right solution? That this is what's going to bring them closer to Marvon and Dre? How do they think that this is actually going to benefit them in the long run? And then I'm left thinking, they can't think that. So if they know that that's not happening, why are they stuck in this position? What is going on that leaves them stuck? Because this isn't helping things on social media. This isn't helping at all. It's not bridging the gap with Dre's relationship and theirs. And that's what they wanted, I thought.
Well, and it's like when they started putting out text messages trying to get you guys pissed off at each other, and I'm just like, geez Louise, these people are freaking straight up evil. They don't realize that.
And again, that's where you're wrong, because it wasn't to make them pissed off at each other. That was already done. You can read Letitia's own words. By the time we got them, that had already been done, and Letitia was already on a mission. You can read that yourself. Good try, Goose.
These couples have a son in common. It's like, why are you doing this? These are
I haven't even been, I've been trying to catch up because since my mom, passed, I haven't even been able to watch anything. So I'm now just catching up and just settling down and trying to get myself, I was shocked at some of this stuff, and I was looking at Elle's channel the other day, and I'm like, what is that? Oh man.
To be honest, if I were you, I wouldn't even look at it. It's going to make you hurt and sad. And I always tell people that's like that deadly combo, was when you get so mad, you're sad at the same time. I mean, it's like.
And I'm also not going to just say that my inbox is the only one that's open. There are a lot of people that would absolutely be willing to talk to you and explain to you what is actually going on and why the chaos has continued. Not just me.
Things that I never, like, I don't know. My head.
Miss Molly, they've been talking about other stuff. So,
I kind of think she's stuck between a rock and a hard place. I just don't know what the rock and the hard place are exactly. I have opinions on what they are, but I can't confirm that 100% at this point yet. Very close, though.
It's so sad.
I really hope that you guys can find out if Marvon is okay, because we don't know if he's woken up. We don't know if he's passed on. And I'm sorry to say that, but
It's the truth, though.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
And she's so sneaky.
And I'm disappointed in Wynette again because she knows exactly the reason why she got the response from Dre that she got. She hadn't attempted to reach out to Dre since they left Arizona. For some reason, whatever that reason may be, she stopped communication with Dre. That was their choice. That's weird.
For saying what she said when she said Letitia doesn't have representation and I don't have legal representation. What do you mean? What do you mean you don't have a lawyer, Dre? Well, then why are you so quiet?
Wow.
I wonder those between 20 and 30 people that called Letitia's attorney, why didn't those people decide to say something? I mean, I'm sorry, but those between 20 and 30 people that called Letitia's attorney, those are
back to the attorney again. You know, that same attorney that just got a court order on Letitia's behalf, but yet they just said that Letitia doesn't even know where he's at and can't find out anything. Can we make it make sense? And you notice that Wynette is not confirming any of this. She is not agreeing or confirming. Be very clear on that.
some shitty people.
Yeah, what do they call the attorney for? Just to be.
They called to verify, to see if
Okay.
Well, we have the
Wynette would have no clue if there was an attorney or not.
documentations.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I know one thing. When I'll talk to you, Miss Molly. I can't do it on live. I just can't.
All right.
Yeah, me and Miss Molly, we talk. We don't always talk on live. So
I know.
I was like,
But that is also how your words and your statements have become so twisted because it's a game of telephone. You say one thing to her and she tells her followers something else.
what's wrong with everything? Is not for everybody to know.
I know. You're right.
exactly.
It isn't.
So I mean,
I agree. Not everything is everybody's business. But when you are fundraising to the extent that they have, and things have not been legit from the start, and the foundation was built off of misinformation, yes, there's questions.
And these people just keep pushing, and they
when
keep
they see
pushing.
me and my husband to be at Miss Molly house, Miss Molly, let's go.
I know. And these people just keep pushing. They're like, why can't Miss Letitia show this? Why can't Miss Letitia show that? Well, because she can't.
No, I'm putting you on now. See, I was looking at in the cut. I was looking at in the cut.
Wynette avoids certain questions like the plague.
You're not gonna talk about that thing, but that note on your thing, are you, my dear?
What?
That
No.
note? Okay, good.
Did they just ask her not to talk about something?
Put in Patreon first. Yeah, we've got someone in these groups, people. Let's see everything. Most of it's just stupid.
I would hope that you guys are at least smart enough to have eyes in the group. So thankfully you do. But everybody knows that you have eyes in the group. That's why things are sometimes intentionally posted, because then you react to them. Have you not caught on to that yet? It's kind of like a puppet on a string. You know, the puppet master dangles the string.
Yeah, we're gonna take her down. No, you're not. We're gonna do class action lawsuit. No, you're not. Get out of here. Grow up.
I think you might need to take your own advice on that.
I hope that this is a learning experience for people in the future that, like I said before, you can't just accuse somebody of being a scammer and all that sort of stuff just because you're not getting information when you want it, how you want it, and all that sort of stuff. Because at the end of the day, even when we would put out some information, it still was never enough. People.
She must be referring to what they put out in the streams, not proof of anything, just their words, right? Because there's been no proof of anything.
Always wanted more and more and more and more. And you guys seem to forget that, again, like I've said before, I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but Letitia is working double shifts. Her husband works.
You say that, but up until recently, she's been online.
And she's having to deal with the fact that she doesn't know how her son is doing. Her attorney can't get a hold of Dre or Dre's attorney. So
you really mean to tell us that attorneys that represent these clients are not picking up the phone and or communicating on behalf of their clients? Is that what you're trying to tell us that we should believe? That Letitia's attorney cannot get a hold of Dre's attorney? We're hearing that Dre isn't represented, and you guys are saying that Dre's attorney just will not answer the phone. So therefore, Letitia can't get info, right?
I don't know how Vaughn is doing. So every day she's having to deal with the stress, and then she's having to deal with people literally sending her death threats to
I thought this had been reported to authorities.
her Facebook account, sending her requests for payments with nasty messages. People are sending her $1 with horrible messages.
Then show it. Drop it and show it.
And you know what Letitia's doing? She's sending the $1 back.
Even if she declines the transaction, the
I
note's
mean,
still
that's
there.
how nasty
Penelope,
these
you're
people are
gonna love
being now.
this. Go to Patreon. Go ahead. Go to Patreon.
Just 1 second.
Molly could care less what is even being discussed.
No, Penelope lives for this shit in Patreon. Go to Patreon. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, we all know her and her many alts. Trust.
She has literally been like screenshotting every single, whether it's
All these people that are harassing her.
a donate, well, even just a regular donation, a request for payment, the cancellation, the
But that's insanity to do that because you don't have to. There's a statement button. You can go in and hit statement and it'll show you every transaction that has happened within the month. Hello?
ways. It's from a Susan.
I won't even hire a lawyer. I've been to court 3 times and represented
And once again, back to Molly. Always.
myself, and I won and walked away.
Hey, look for a purple S
Yay! So exciting.
in the comments. It's a Susan Wolfledger. I'm probably saying it totally wrong, but it's Susan and then WOLSLEGER. Says, don't be mad, Molly, Justin Goose. In Arizona, real reporter is going to get a hold of you. Okay, just got off the phone with her. Take it. You can do it. Expose the vultures.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure that any real reporter or investigative journalist is chomping at the bit to get involved in the middle of this shitstorm. I'm sure that national media attention is just around the corner.
Thank you. You can do it.
You mean to tell me that she missed connections with all of these top name reporters is actually going to go along with the fact that media wants anything to do with this?
You'd be excellent at that. I don't have the time.
I'll talk to whoever. At the end of the day,
I
like,
mean, yeah, what's she got to lose? She's already sat on streams publicly numerous times spewing the same bullshit lies over and over again. What's one more time?
it's not okay what they're doing. Again, like, we are in a country where you're innocent until proven guilty. And just because people
As long as it's them and not anybody else, though.
want this, that, and the other, because one person decided to say it was a scam. Oh, and that's the other thing. So KJ started to say, oh,
And again, that's just not the facts.
I never talked to Letitia. Letitia, like, had nothing to do with my GoFundMe. Okay, actually, what happened, and I clarified this once before, but when KJ put in her request to get back her $1,100, GoFundMe contacted Letitia and said, do you want us to investigate this, or do you want to just refund it? And Letitia said, just refund it. That's how Letitia got contacted.
This is actually one of the very first things that I clarified was the refund process on GoFundMe. If you're interested in knowing more about that and the details and what actually transpired, you can go watch that video. But I'll explain briefly. So if you have a concern about a donation that you made through GoFundMe, you can ask for a refund. They have very specific rules and regulations with the refund process. They will reach out to the beneficiary of the refund and say, this is what is being said. And they give them an opportunity to present evidence showing receipts, so on and so forth, of where the money is going to. The person can opt to ignore that and not respond to it. Therefore, an automatic refund would be issued, or they can just decline to present evidence to GoFundMe, and therefore GoFundMe sides with the person asking for the refund. There is multiple ways that they can go about it.
Not by KJ, by GoFundMe. Letitia never said she was contacted by KJ. She said she was contacted from GoFundMe after KJ contacted them.
And it doesn't matter anyways, because that was a GoFundMe issue.
She did. She did say that. By the way, you guys, not for nothing, but Goose is actually part of Heels on the Ground. She just doesn't go into the field because she has her daughter.
I'm not exactly sure what that even is, but it's definitely something I will be avoiding if all of these people have something to do with it, based on their behavior solely in this story and case right here.
She does all the groundwork.
But I don't do background checks for people that are wondering. I don't do that sort of stuff. I don't want
Yeah.
people.
I think you were
on
digging
that
for people's info the
we
other
are
day, weren't
done
you? Reviewing that stream, because I, for one, cannot handle hearing the sound of Molly chewing. It sounds like a cow chewing their cud. And I'm not being mean. That's just the honest truth. I cannot handle hearing people eat, period. Plus, the only other thing that happens through the stream is they shit talk on a bunch more people. Justin pops on, aka Spanky. Goose repeats herself in circles a few more times, and that's about that. So you're really not missing anything anyways. And my stream is actually longer than their stream because of all my added bullshit to theirs. I absolutely cannot stand listening to them speak because they don't even attempt to know the facts of the story before spewing more bullshit. And I was kind in this entire video. I was extremely kind. There is a lot more that I could have said and I wanted to say, but I don't need to stoop to their level because we base things on facts over here. And the facts are the facts, are the facts, are the facts. No matter which way you twist and turn things, it still doesn't make sense what they're trying to say. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, let's say she got $20,000, there's still been a possibility of everything that's needed to be done being done within that $20,000. But they're stating things that would actually be very concerning if their story is true. Because if they are paying that much money for legal representation and nothing, again, nothing, it's September 13th, has been filed in any court system, and they're stating that they have a court order, that it's public record, and it's a court order, there's a problem here because either it's not filed, it doesn't exist, or somewhere, somehow, things aren't adding up. And by their story, it would eventually fall back on this attorney that they have claimed she's had representing her. And as her advocate, if she had an attorney and this was where things were, I would be more focused on figuring that end of things out than the drama on social media. But I guess the drama on social media pays better than getting to the bottom of the actual details and the problems within this case. They are trying to make it sound like it's this very complicated procedure and process to look into refunds or transactions on Cash App, and it's not. Y'all, there's a statement button. I've said it multiple times through this video, but I'm reminding you guys once again, there is a simple solution. You touch the statement button and it all pops up right then and there. It's not hard. It's not complicated like they're trying to make it out to be, or this long drawn out process. They've had plenty of opportunity and time to show all of this stuff. They're claiming that there's 3 receipts from an attorney, that she's made 3 payments, and yet they don't have a single one to show. What isn't making sense here? You tell me, because to me, there's nothing that's making sense in this story. And by their story, going with their theories, it's actually more concerning than it is not. And my problem is they are so confidently spewing this story over and over again, but not taking the time to slow down and realize that if that story was to be true, there would be huge issues. No matter which way they try to twist this, it's got issues. And the further they avoid these issues and lie more and more, the further we're going to dissect it. We've debunked every part of this story already, many times. There is very few things that we haven't been able to debunk of their claims. If you want to see more with screenshots, all of that, Facebook is filled with that stuff. There's a ton in my previous videos. My last 2-hour video had a bunch of information. We went through and bit by bit. That was before they did this one. I don't understand the reasoning behind the continual lies, except for one creator really wants to keep the focus where it's at. Because no matter what, she is benefiting from this. But she's not the only one. There's multiple hands in this. Anyways, tell me what you all think. Sorry, I did cuss a little bit more than I normally do in this one, but I'm fed up. I am so sick of hearing nothing but her constant honking and squawking. I can't wait till the Canadian geese fly north for the winter. With that said, Contessa, over and out. Thanks for watching another one. And please, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up button on your way out. It greatly helps me. And we are getting further with the facts here because more and more people are starting to see that there's issues and people are starting to ask more questions. Thank goodness. Thank you all once again for all of the support and everything you guys do. You guys are amazing. And of course, I wouldn't be here without all of you. So thanks again. And here's a few more minutes so you guys can chat at the end. Have a great night.